I'm Barry Funkhauser, and this is the Barry Funkhauser Show. Well, here's what's going on. A stretch of the 5 freeway has been dedicated to Dodgers great Tommy Lasorda. Investigators are looking for 3 suspects after a Hidden Hills mansion party shooting. And there's a veterinarian shortage across the nation as pet ownership skyrockets. And with me, as always, is General Know-It-All and current events guy, Joe. Hey, happy Monday, Joe. We don't regularly say that on the program, but I'm starting March out like a lion and saying happy Monday.
Lions say happy Monday? I didn't know that.
I'm just trying to counteract the very angry feeling I got when I went outside because, the greenhouse blew over, so I had a bunch of little sprouts. I mean, I'm talking like 12 or 15 different types of varieties of sprouts growing. And it's been raining, so I didn't have to worry about nothing. Well, I was gone overnight, came back, and I have been ravaged, Joe.
Oh no. Yes, rabbits?
Dirt. No, they're up above ground. I think these little bitty birds are used to people feeding them, and because no one was here to feed them, they just took out their hunger aggression on my entire flock of my entire crop. So I'm perturbed is the word for today. I'm perturbed.
You're perturbed. I'm perturbed.
Oh, I'm perturbed.
You're perturbed. Well, unlike you, I'm having a fantastic Monday. You want to know why, Barry? You want to know why I'm having such a great Monday?
I guess so. Tell me why.
Because Caltrans has finally opened Highway number 2 in Wrightwood, California, and I, this week, am going to experience some of the most epic snow that California has ever gotten on its ski slopes. 15 feet at the top of Mountain High. I am freaking excited, man. I have been waiting for days like, man, I really hope that they can open up Highway 2 this week because I want to enjoy me some snow. So yeah, I'm going to go up this week, Barry. I'm going to go up. I'm going to snowboard. I'm going to come back with an actual live snow report. I'm going to tell you how the slopes are, and I'm going to tell you how all of the conditions are. Honestly, it's going to be epic. I've been to Mountain High, probably over 100 times in my life, right? Mountain High has 2 slopes, the east slope, which is the main slope, and then the west slope. In over 100 times of going to snowboard at Wrightwood, I have seen the west slope open maybe 2, maybe 3, a handful of times. At most, maybe 5 times. Okay. They have gotten so much snow. The west slope is open the rest of the season. That's how much snow got dumped out there. Hey. So I might actually, for the first time ever, be able to board the west slope. I'm really, really excited about all this.
Hey, and I know you're super excited because I got a text early this morning from you saying, well, I did it. I bought my lift tickets. It's on and popping.
I know. So that's how excited I am. Man, the other thing is, I guess I didn't realize it much back when I was younger because, I really only spent on certain things. Yeah, I've been pretty budget conscious most of my life. Snowboarding's expensive, like really stupid expensive. I just had to get like all new gear. All my gear was like years old and trash and everything. I just had to buy all new gear, and I got a lift ticket for a day. The lift ticket itself is $110.
All right, let me ask you.
All my gear, and I'm getting new boots, and those new boots are $300. Man,
yeah, dude, you got to take out a loan to get these.
I know, right? It's like those. Some sports are really expensive, and this is like winter sports, man. They're expensive.
What kind of dude are you going down the hill? What do you got in your head there? Are you listening to music or are you listening to a podcast? What do you do when you're ripping?
Oh, music. It's hard for me. I enjoy a podcast. However, it is hard for me to be active while listening to a podcast because you can't get into any kind of like rhythm, especially like when I'm running. I cannot listen to people talking when I'm running. I need like a rhythm. I need beats. I need something that I can like breathe to, something I can like put my feet down to, in a good rhythm. And it's the same with snowboarding. I don't do any kind of jumps anymore. I don't do any kind of boxes or rails or anything like that. I'm just too old. My body cannot handle that stuff anymore. So nowadays I just cruise. And it is something else to be out on the top of the mountain when it is completely clear and it's like a quarter capacity or half capacity day, and you just see like nobody else around on the mountain, and you can just like throw in Sublime and just like cruise down the hill. Man, it is a good time. And you know how much I hate the cold, so it's really, really bizarre that I am such an avid snowboarder. So I don't know. It's
you sound like you're gonna have a lot of fun. You sound very excited.
Craziness in my life. Oh man, I'm so excited. Yeah, snowboarding's great, man. I wish I had more friends that knew how to snowboard. None of my friends know how to snowboard anymore.
Let's rally the crew. Let's rally the troops and get them all out there. Let's.
Hey, if there's anybody out there that listens to our program that wants to go snowboarding with me, let's do it. I need a snowboarding partner, and I don't have one. So,
all right, let's get into the news today, Joe. Well, a stretch of the 5 freeway in Orange County has officially been dedicated to legendary Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda. The Tommy Lasorda Memorial Highway passes through your hometown, Fullerton, Joe, between Lincoln Avenue and Ball Road. Listen.
The city of Fullerton had a special place in the heart of Dodgers legend Tommy Lasorda. Now a stretch of the I-5 freeway in Orange County has been named in honor of the late Hall of Fame manager. The recognition coming on opening day for the West Fullerton Little League. Lasorda's daughter and former Dodgers great Eric Karros joining the celebration. Karros, who played for Lasorda, sharing some advice with the young players.
When you're out here playing Little League and you want to go out and have fun, you're with your friends. One thing Tommy used to always tell us is you gotta believe.
Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk Silva says Lasorda embodied the spirit and love of the game of baseball. She authored the bill passed by the state legislature dedicating the portion of the interstate in honor of Lasorda.
I think us giving a little history of who Tommy was, celebrating baseball, and retelling the legend that he was here in Fullerton is always important for our younger generation.
Laura Lasorda says she's excited to see the memorial, one of several extraordinary tributes to her late father.
He's got an asteroid named after him. He has his portrait in the Smithsonian, the Portrait Gallery, which is unheard of for most people. And then I'm thinking he's got sandwiches named after him. And now he's got a freeway named after him. It's so touching.
You can see the Tommy Lasorda Memorial Highway sign on the I-5 in Orange County just before Lincoln on the southbound side and near Ball Road on the northbound side.
Well, there you go. A little hometown love for you, Joe, and local hero Tommy Lasorda, who lived there since 1958, never moved away throughout his entire life. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, I used to play Little League in the park right across from his house.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe that's right where they dedicated it, because they were at a Little League park.
No, it absolutely was. I remember the park very, very well. I know exactly which house was Tommy's. Everybody knew. Tommy was not shy. He would come out and like watch Little League baseball. It was fantastic.
So cool, man.
It was fantastic. It was a little after my time, because the 88 World Series hit when I was 13, 14.
That's prime baseball time, man.
Oh, man. Why do you think I was a Dodger fan for like 30 years after that? Like it ingrained into my head being blue and white.
Hold on a second. So Tommy Lasorda was living in Angels territory, but everybody was a Dodger fan down there in Fullerton. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. We hate it. Man, I freaking because of Tommy Lasorda and the Dodgers. I mean, I freaking hated the Angels like so much. There was nothing about the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So dumb. I can't stand their owner for changing the name the way he did. He was, oh God, no. We were a Dodger city. Fullerton was a Dodger city because of Tommy Lasorda. And he was living right over there at Commonwealth Park. Honestly, it was great. I would ride my bike over there. Tommy would be out there. It was fantastic. Fantastic. It was
now you can drive up and down the 5 freeway and go, oh yeah, that's cool.
You know what? Since my mom moved, I don't even go down there anymore. My best friend still lives down there. He lives down in Orange. But his daughter's getting ready to go to college, and I don't know when I'm going to be able. Like, what reason do I have to go to Orange County anymore? So I don't know when I'm going to drive on this portion of the 5 next.
We'll be going there on our way to a trivia night at one point with our buddy.
Oh, right. Well, if I ever do some 88.5 stuff down at Saddleback, then I'll have to be taking the 5. There we go. That's
go to Mission Viejo.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Mission Viejo. That's crazy down
there. All right. Well,
it really is. It really is.
Today's show is brought to you by
Val Surf, LA's source for all things surf, skate, and snow, selling footwear, apparel, and gear since 1962. Visit their shop online at valsurf.com.
All right, more news on the Barry Funkhauser show. Investigators are looking for 3 suspects after a Hidden Hills mansion party shooting. It happened just before 11:30 p.m. a few nights ago. An investigator said a young woman was shot in the shoulder. She's expected to make a full recovery. Here's more. Listen.
A frightened scream captured on Ring video. This was the moment right before Gracie Aldude says her family heard shots fired at the mansion across the street Saturday night.
Around 11:25 p.m., it was just me, my mom, and my brother home. And we were going towards my window because that side of the house you can see a clear view of the house that had the party. And all of a sudden we heard 6 shots go off. I was scared. We all ducked from the windows.
She then took this cell phone video as hundreds of partygoers flooded out and deputies descended on the Hidden Hills West estate. The LA County Sheriff's Department tells us a college student was shot in the shoulder just before 11 p.m. and she will recover. They're looking for 3 male suspects but are having a tough time getting information. A lieutenant in Lost Hills Station told me arriving deputies had to call for backup on the ground and in the air as departing partygoers started throwing bottles at them. And of more than 500 people there, only 1 person would give deputies any information on what happened. This guy on his way out was unfazed.
With like 20 cop cars, helicopters, somebody apparently got shot. We don't know. Man, look at this. We just had a crazy night.
One of many crazy nights at that home, neighbors say. We found the house for sale on Zillow. Neighbors say they think it's being rented out for house parties. Aldude says neighbors have already been trying to get that stopped, and this could be the last straw.
The girl that was shot was sitting in front of our house. People were kind of crowding in front of our house. They have parties almost every other Saturday, so it's never been this crazy.
Okay, so Joe, I don't know if you're familiar with Hidden Hills. It's Kanye.
I am. It's where Vince Scully lives, and the Kardashians do not live in Hidden Hills.
Oh, okay. Well, it's in that area.
They live in Calabasas. They are way, way too bougie to say that they live in Hidden Hills. Calabasas has way more cash.
Well, Hidden Hills is very hidden. It's like the name does a very good description of what it is. It's a very hidden location. So can you imagine if you lived across the street from a house that threw house parties with 1,000 people showing up by van?
I would sue with the strength of 1,000 suns if people were doing this in my neighborhood. Like, seriously, I do not deal well with this kind of bullshit because it's so disrespectful to everybody else in your neighborhood. And, whoever's selling this house, they don't care. They're just like, who cares? I'm out of there anyway. I'll just make some money throwing these ridiculous house parties where people get shot. Why did Airbnb and VRBO outlaw any kind of a group rentals? Because this kept happening, and this is going to continue to happen. Like, this is not okay. It's not okay to have 1,000 people show up to a random abandoned mansion and just like trash everything. Because that's what they do. It's like people have no respect anymore for other people's property. It's so disrespectful. And I just don't, the entitlement of these types of party goers just like drives me nuts. I hate it.
Have you ever been to a party like that?
Not recently, like ever?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, sure.
1,000
but
people.
not like that. Like I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's a generational thing, but I'm Gen X. I'm solid Gen X. And I was doing this stuff. We were going to like house parties in the hills when I was in my 20s in Hollywood. Late 20s, early 30s, stuff like that. I have never been to a house party where people got shot. I have never been to a house party where people like were just so out of control that like cars were flipped and the houses were lit on fire and stuff like that. And I'm talking house parties with hundreds of people. So I don't understand if it's a difference in generation, if it's a difference in just like the entire makeup of who is at the party.
No, I think I'll tell you. I think I know. I'll tell you what my perspective is here. I actually have a take on this because a long time ago, I worked for a radio station that produced a hip hop show, and there was people brought guns and there was violence, and it was because the ticket price was $6. It was very, very cheap to see, like the Daz band was playing. It wasn't even like a thug band, and it got shut down because of the same reason. And this, upon further investigation here, this Hidden Hills party was brought on by something called Project X, which was an social media movement, and that's how they gathered so many people. And I think they wanted to get as many people as possible.
Well, see, that's it. You get really bad people when you do that. You just like bring in like a very unsavory group of people. And I'm not trying to be racist, and I'm not saying that those people are not white. I'm just talking.
It doesn't matter. It can be a hoedown.
I'm saying unsavory characters, of all races, all sexes, all religions. There are people out there who just like, let's go to this party and start some crap because they find that to be amusing for some reason. And people literally people do this. This is like their fun. They find parties and then go and try to trash them. So when you're doing like a social media blast to the entire Southland about like, hey, let's go have a party and rip some stuff up, who do you think's gonna go? You're not gonna get like the people who are like respectful of you. No, that's not what's gonna happen. You're gonna get like the worst parts of society going to that party.
And dude, it's so expensive to sue this. I mean, we're talking about mansions out there. We're talking about big,
how are you going to find? How are you going to even find who's responsible? Because is it the homeowner? It's probably not. The homeowner probably has no idea that this is happening.
I don't know, man. I want to know. We're going to find out eventually, but
we need follow-up news on this because
lawyers are salivating at this right now, though, for sure.
Well, I'm thinking that it can't be the homeowner because why would the homeowner want their property trashed? It would make it harder to sell.
Somebody's got to be responsible.
But who? That's the thing. What I'm saying is I feel like there is a group of people, not like together, but just like random groups of people who go around looking for huge empty houses, and then they stage these like party takeovers because that's what it is. It's not like an actual party where you're going to somebody's house who owns that house. No, these people go around. They're like, oh man, that's a 3,000 square foot mansion with a pool. Oh man. And it's been on the market for a few months now and no one's even around and they have no security. Yeah, we're going to take this house over. And then they go on social and they, get with their groups and they get on TikTok and they do all this stuff. And then, you get 1,000 people showing up at some random house. Who's to blame for that? How can they how is law enforcement going to trace that back? And are they going to trace that back? Because what's the end game? There's no money. the cops aren't going to make any money off of this. They're not going to be able to actually arrest somebody. Like, how are they going to trace it back to this ephemeral group on TikTok or social media and then place the blame on hey, John, it's Johnny's fault. Like,
it's a legal mayhem. That's what is happening there.
It really is. But man,
it's a loophole.
I do not like these types of like takeover parties.
Hey, I'm just glad I don't live
dangerous.
I'm glad I don't live in a wealthy area, man. I don't have to deal with it. I just have somebody talking. One of my neighbors are talking in their backyard, which is fine. I like hearing humans every so often. But man, if there was 500 people over there, I don't know what I'd do, man. It'd be crazy.
Like every Saturday night too, like, or every weekend. Oh, that would just be brutal. It's not like we live in a college town. Come on, guys.
Let's get Sweet James on it.
Sweet James Burger. Man, you cannot avoid those commercials in this town. Oh my gosh.
All right, more news on the Barry Funkhauser Show. Across the nation, pet ownership is skyrocketing, leading to an increased demand in veterinarians, which is currently experiencing a shortage. Some vet offices have been forced to turn pet owners away due to a severe lack of staffing and resources. A sad story. Listen.
Hey, you.
Dr. Jeff Werber has been a veterinarian for nearly 4 decades.
You're so cute. You're so cute.
What are we in for today? Over the past few years, he's seen his waiting room busier than ever, making it difficult to meet the demand. He's not alone, as the vet industry across the nation is in the midst of a crisis.
We predict about a 5,000 veterinary shortage, which can jump to 15,000 by the year 2030. So it's a huge problem.
But why? Dr. Werber says during COVID, as more pets got adopted, more people were seeking vet care. Staff members were also getting sick, and many vets turned to curbside service.
So they would be out in the car in the parking lot, and then a nurse or a technician would go out and bring the pet in, and they'd be back and forth on the phone. That is very inefficient. So instead of seeing maybe 20 or 25 patients a day, they were seeing 10 to 15.
He says a lot of vets are still using curbside service today, but that's not the only reason for the vet shortage.
There's only 33 vet schools in the U.S., so there's just not enough schools right now.
Dr. David Driscoll is a professor and program director for the Animal Health Science program at Cal Poly Pomona. Students here are trained to become registered vet techs and can also take the courses that will allow them to apply to vet school. He says their enrollment numbers have drastically increased over the last few years.
There's tons of students trying to get into vet school right now as well. I think the current average is 15% of people that apply for vet school get in, so 85% don't.
I want to be a vet, but it's really competitive, so if I don't get in, I do want something to fall back on, which is why I also want to be an RVT.
You want to put the leads on?
The industry isn't just losing vets.
The veterinary technicians are leaving as well. They get into it because they love the animals, and they figure out economically they can't make it.
Driscoll says they're also seeing a significant mental health crisis.
The suicide rate with veterinarians is about 4 times as high as the general population, and then about 2 times as high as medical human doctors.
It's such a concern, college professors are now adding the topic to their classroom discussions.
She's very transparent up front about what the suicide rates are, and just making us aware that it's going to be a stressful job, so to make sure you have a work-life balance.
But Dr. Werber says that work-life balance is leading to longer wait times and fewer appointments for our pets.
Younger generations are coming out, and they want to work a 30-hour work week, and they don't want weekends or nights because they want that work-life balance, and they deserve it. Hello.
Until there's a solution, vets who love what they do will continue to pick up the slack.
It's a really rewarding job, but also, very demanding as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I didn't know all those statistics on vet deaths.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's the hardest word I think in my language, in my vocabulary, is statistics.
Man, I was just listening to the story and getting wide-eyed with every new what is it? Statistic that came out. The one that really popped out to me, there in the entire United States, in all of the United States, 400 million people, and we have 33 vet schools. That's it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It should be more.
No wonder there's a shortage. And can we please start paying people what they're worth? Like, we should not have vet techs leaving a profession that they love because they're only getting paid like $12 to $15 an hour. Is that really what your pets are worth to you, pet owners? Like, because I know my cats are worth way, way more than that. And I am very willing to go to a veterinarian that actually pays their people pretty well. So I am all about the pet doctors of Sherman Oaks. Very nice people. Dr. Cox over there is great. I recommend her. But I don't like this. I understand why people are getting more pets and, they wanted that companionship, especially when they were locked in to COVID. But, this is going to be, this is not good. Not good for all us pet owners out there.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about it. I mean, sheesh. That's just baffling. Well, I mean, I just hope all of our pets stay healthy and happy, and we don't need to bombard the veterinarians with all of our problems.
Sure.
I'm sure that they got more problems now with these new pet owners. Everybody's a new pet owner. So they're like, my cat is looking at me funny, so I brought her into the vet. So they're probably like wasting a lot more time, I would assume.
I'm sure that some of that is happening as well. Yeah. It's a hard one, because I don't think pet ownership is going to decrease anytime soon. So I think that COVID and the last few years of all the partisanship and animosity that we've been seeing in the country, I think it's going to really start to reorganize our economy. Because we're starting to see what is more important and what citizens in our country and in our society actually want. What is actually important to people. And so I think that vets and care for our pets and care for ourselves and for our elders and for childcare, I think it's all coming into focus that those things are very much more important to us in the U.S. How do we get to a place where we're paying those people so they can survive, so we still have those services that we want and need?
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, take care of your pets, please. Feed them regularly good food and whatnot. And we'll be back tomorrow to feed your ears with another show. This is the Barry Funkhauser Show